Welcome to our session on collaboration in blended learning environments. You can access our presentation by simply clicking on the link in the chat. Thank you so much for dropping that link. So I am Tatiana Hardiman, and today I'll be presenting with my lovely colleagues Jen Bell and Sadie Hoover. If you guys can just wave for me. Thank you so much. So we are digital learning coordinators for the district. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can enhance your instructional technology in your classroom, please check out our website and contact your DLC. This information is located at the end of our presentation. So here are the North Carolina Digital Learning Standards for students. And in today's session, we'll focus specifically on global collaborator and empowered learner. And if you would like to access the standards, just simply click on the the image in the middle of the slide deck. And it will be there for you. So in today's session, we'll share collaboration strategies in blended learning environments. You'll also be able to walk away with resources that you can use right away. So we're going to start off with a quick check-in. Please click on the picture located on slide 5. Once you click on that picture, please share with us which picture you most relate to when thinking about how collaboration in your classroom is currently going. So you can simply just move your dot to any picture. How's collaboration currently going in your classroom? So those of you who have participated, could you just kind of tell me, you can either raise your hand or let us know in the chat, what is the reasoning, your reasoning behind that particular picture? Why do you feel strongly about that? Okay, Dorothy has her hand raised. Go ahead and unmute your mic, Dorothy.
Hello. I chose the entanglement picture because I'm an academic language coach, and
Okay.
I feel like I'm providing resources to my teachers, and they are tackling those resources as well as all the other 100 million things they have to take care in their classroom. So I just really want them to just take a breather and then just pull what they need to accommodate themselves as well as their students. So I just feel like right now with everything that's going on, it's a lot of entanglements going on, but if they just pull the right resource, they'll be okay in their classroom.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Dorothy.
You're welcome.
I'll give a couple more seconds if anyone else would like to share. Okay, I see Christy has also raised her hand. Go ahead, Christy, unmute your mic.
Hi, so I chose to me, it looks like a shoe smorgasbord, right? And for me, is I do that. So I'm in intervention, and as I go to PLTs and classrooms and visit with my students, one size does not fit all. So if this one doesn't fit for you, put it back and try a different one, leave it there, come back to it, pick it up, share one, not the other. So I chose the smorgasbord of different sizing is what I was thinking as I saw that one.
Awesome. I love that thought process. If it doesn't work, figure it out, try something else. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating. So we're going to move on to our next slide. Okay, so Wake County has created a list of skills for what graduates should demonstrate. The skills listed shows what true collaboration looks like. So you can see in the competencies that the definition of collaboration, it has verbs highlighted in pink. These are the things we want students to do. Things such as expressing, asking, reflecting, citing evidence. All of these are important as it relates to collaboration. And the key to effective collaboration is building relationships, which includes understanding perspective, establishing trust, recognizing cultural differences, and effectively communication. So let's take a look at the first picture. People often misunderstand one another or have different ideas. This can create conflict. Thus, it's important to consider the perspectives of others and communicate carefully. Next, before we have true collaborations, students must first trust one another. This doesn't mean just working side by side, only a few working, or one person doing all of the work, and we know that all too well. In the trust image, you can see there's a huge level of trust, and everyone is committed to pulling their own weight. So when we think about different cultures, age and different gender differences, preferences, experiences, they all influence how we actually see the world. So what seems completely clear to one person doesn't necessarily mean that it's clear to the others. And the message that was intended isn't always the message received. So consider how your own culture and background affect how you collaborate with one another. And lastly, communication. So as we all know, effective communication is the key to any relationship. Our students are growing up in a digital age where there's numerous ways to communicate, such as text messages, video chats, or other digital tools. The ways we are comfortable with communicating is not always the preferred method for our students. So when we're creating assignments and tasks, we want to make sure that we're providing a variety of ways to communicate that information so that our students are also comfortable. And before we get started with collaboration, some things that we want to make sure that we consider are the learning objectives. Where are our students located? What materials and devices are readily available to our students? Well, what teaching model are we going to use? What opportunities have our students had to already develop collaborative skills? And lastly, what structures have we put in place and what templates are readily available to be able to guide our collaboration? And now we'll move on to Jen.
Thanks so much, Tatiana. So when we think about collaboration, all of the blending learning models shift the focus from teachers to the learners. They focus and they foster collaboration in small learning communities that are created within your larger classroom. So blended learning really will allow us to create these rich collaborative learning experiences because in all settings, regardless of whether students are working synchronously or asynchronously, and really at home, in the classroom, a combination of both for teachers, really these specific models are going to allow this to work anywhere. We know that blended learning is a good model. And we know that one of the things that makes it such a good model is that it allows students to choose when and where they're doing certain things, but the structures that it puts in place for any work that we give them to do are specific and really help us as teachers also give feedback and collaborate with our students, sometimes in a group and sometimes one-on-one. For more detailed information, some templates and examples, and other information that you may want to know about blended learning, you can click on the link on this slide that says Learn More. When we consider getting students to collaborate, there are different structures we can put in place to help students be more successful. These structures guide and foster collaboration, and they help our students work as a team rather than splitting up the work between the group, or some of the other things that we might see where maybe one person is doing more than others, or there's lots of disagreement and strife within the group. The thing that I really love, and we're going to click on a few different things, but the thing that I love about all of these particular structures is that things like norms, back channels, having group roles, learning contracts, check-ins, all of these things really help our students have clear and concise protocols and directions, because we can't just toss them in the situation and expect that it's going to work. So if we think about how we can help kids structure their time, how we can help them assume a role, and how we can help give them opportunities to communicate with each other as well as with us as the educator, we're helping them with not just this process, but also with accountability, with responsibility, with project management. Tatiana, if you don't mind clicking to the next slide for me. Oh, I'm sorry, jump back one. Sorry about that. If you don't mind clicking on the Scrum board, that's the one I want to show. Apologies. This is this amazing team management, project management tool that I just want to highlight for a second. All of the information on here is editable, so you can use it in any way. But I really like to think about if students are able to check in with their collaborative team, whether that be right before they do an activity every day, or even just a weekly check-in if it's a long-term project, having students establish in their roles what their responsibilities are and being able to move those responsibilities, those tasks from things that they need to do to what's in progress to completed, really is going to foster some really great communication in the group. It also helps kids check in with each other and communicate their role in what they're doing. So I think that this is such a great tool, not just in collaboration for the sake of collaboration, but also in blended learning when we have them working through different ways of doing things. And some of it may be done at different times. Having a tool like this can really set our kids up for success. Thanks so much. I'm going to jump back to the presentation and to the next slide. A great way to keep students collaborating digitally is to provide them with the templates that they're going to need that they can edit together. These can be used in different learning environments, regardless of whether students are working asynchronously or synchronously. We like to start with thinking about the collaborative protocols that have been adapted for blended learning. Tatiana, if you don't mind clicking on that. Thanks so much. This document not only has suggestions for how to engage kids and deliver content in different learning environments, it also includes links to templates and examples. And I love that each of them gives different opportunities on ways to have kids think deeply about the content so that they're able to really dig in. Once we know that we're including things from the curriculum in activities, we know that that's there. The suggestions on this are really specific to how your kids are going to do different protocols, whether they're going to be doing it at the same time or they're going to be working asynchronously. And for each of those, it really does give specific examples. Some of the other things that you're going to see linked to this slide are templates that can be copied and edited for use in any content area for students of all ages. If you have any questions when you go to use these about the best way that you can use them with your students to collaborate, definitely reach out to your area digital learning coordinators because we would love to work with you. There is a link at the end of the presentation with contact information if you need it. Before we start reflecting, I'm going to jump back. We'd like to give you 3 or 4 minutes to investigate the resources that are here. Can you jump back one? Thanks so much. Sorry about that. So on slides 10 and 11, there are all kinds of links that you can click on. We want to make sure that you have time to investigate them, and we're here if you have any questions. I'm going to stop talking, which will be good for everybody, and set a timer for about 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. And then you can just investigate a little bit. Again, this is just dipping your toe in and taking a look at some things that you may want to investigate later or that you may want to ask some questions about. We're here in the chat, or if you feel comfortable, feel free to unmute your mic and please feel free to comment or ask any questions. When you're ready, what we'd like you to do is think about what you found interesting or what you'd like to learn more about from today's session. Sadie, in the chat, if you don't mind posting the link, or if you're in our presentation, if you click on the light bulb, it'll bring you to a Padlet. We know that there was a lot of information and resources packed into this Lunch and Learn, and we'd like to hear your initial thoughts from today's session. We completely understand if you'd like more time to investigate. So for those of us who are here live today in this session, if you could click on the light bulb or the link and share your initial thoughts, that would be great. If you're viewing this asynchronously, or you're here with us and want to come back and reflect again after exploring more resources, please add to this Padlet anytime. A quick reminder too that if you prefer not to type your answer and you'd like to record or add a picture as your response, please feel free to add to our Padlet in that way. Those hints are right there down the left side for you. I love seeing these come in. So collaborative rubrics, thanks so much. Yes, those are really helpful tools. And I love that there were so many resources shared. Thanks so much for your comments. We really appreciate them. We definitely want to honor your time today. We want to give you some time to check out more resources. We're not going to do it here, but we wanted to point your attention to some great video clips that we found and an article on collaboration that we think goes well with today's session if you're looking to learn a little bit more. We'd also like to thank you for being here. We know that this new 30-minute format is something new. It's a quick join us for lunch and learn and get some information and scooch on. Please know that you can contact your digital learning coordinators at any time from our website, and the link is here for you. Please reach out to us. We're definitely here to help. Before you leave and head on with your day, could you please click on the survey link in the chat or the picture in the slide deck and complete this session feedback. Sadie, Tatiana, and I will be here for a few minutes. We're going to stay on. And if you feel comfortable, please unmute your mic if you have any questions or comments. Again, thanks so much for joining us.